Alright guys, so welcome to the Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy beta test. You can get this by just any of the I believe it's just any of the editions. You get the beta test. And it's by Alcat, who is doing the Expanse Osiris Reborn, which I've did that beta twice. Yeah. As developers are always striving to improve our craft, through this we need information that we can only get from you by sending game statistics and bug reports to us. You can help us. Yes. Man, this is cool as shit already. Let's go a little bit lower with the volume. Let's go to 80. Go 90 for that. I love the music. Frequency of character voice response. Mute audio when the game windows collapse. Make sure there's no whatever. English, bloodstains on, gore on. Yes. Holy shit, this is a lot. I think we're done with this. What do I get out of this? Ah, there's the next button right there. Acolyte, the Inquisition values your judgment. Lend your voice to the beta survey and help us forge the trials that lie ahead. Every observation is a blade against imperfection. Wield it well. So, one thing I've wanted to get into the Warhammer 40k stuff for a while, but I've just been trying to get through some other stuff before I get to them, because most of the stuff that they have is pretty long. The stuff I want to play anyway. But yeah. New game. We'll go normal. You got custom, story, normal, daring, and hard. Yeah, we'll just go default for all this. Alright, so portrait. Okay, this is just portraits. This reminds me of Wasteland. That's cool. Got that. Voice. Let's listen to them all.
Violence it is, then. Better your blood than mine. Always on the move.
Violence it is, then. Better your blood than mine. I'll make it work.
Tremble and weep! I am the bringer of his punishment.
Tremble and weep! Your doom approaches, heretics.
We'll do pragmatic.
Violence it is, then.
Alright, archetypes. So we have... Oh, an archetype reflects the character's path of development, who they were, and who will they become. Who they will become. Each archetype defines the character's key abilities, which abilities they will use in combat, which skills will help resolve difficulties during travels, or how their special abilities will improve. An archetype is divided into ranks, each of which allows
Continue regardless.
choosing a new ability or talent, improving them, or increasing the skill or characteristic score. What are you saying, dude?
May the Emperor forgive those who stand against us. For the Inquisition surely will not.
Well, what this dude's saying. Warrior, so we got big into melee, defense, a little support and movement, tiny bit of range, no psychic ability. They have charge, the character dashes in a straight line and attacks the first enemy encountered. Endure, the character regains some armor and deals damage to surrounding enemies. The fighter is an incredible melee combatant who possesses both the mobility to engage enemies on their own terms and the prowess to withstand or evade incoming damage. Doesn't really look like the type, but yeah. Officer. The officer specializes in improving their allies' combat capabilities and giving them the chance to act when and where they are needed. Their abilities offer improvement to every facet of a unit's combat proficiency, so they're big in support, a little bit in defense, melee, and ranged, not much in movement, and no psychic. They bring it down. The character grants an ally a bonus turn to attack enemies. Get back in the fight. The character removes negative effects from an ally and gives them a bonus turn for non-attacking actions. So pretty good. Operative. The operative has mastered the art of one-hit, one-kill combat, whether ranged or melee. Their single shots hit with incredible accuracy, deal massive amounts of damage, and leave their enemies vulnerable to attacks from the operative's allies. So they're pretty big into ranged and melee, a little bit in defense and support, tiny bit with movement and no psychic. Expose weakness. Single attacks are made with increased hit chance and inflict exploit, increasing damage taken by the targets. Ruthless tactics. Single attacks deal more damage and can remove exploits to deal even more. And we have Soldier. The soldier is a ranged combatant specializing in burst and area attack weapons that allow them to lay down devastating fire upon enemies. Their abilities enable them to utilize cover to its utmost potential and maintain strategic positioning at all times. Huge and ranged, big in a movement, a little bit of defense, not much melee support, and no psychic. They have Bullet Storm. Burst and area attacks are made twice, dealing slightly decreased damage. Rapid Fire. Ranged burst attacks have an increased rate of fire, and can target a cell instead of a unit. Shockwave shots. Ranged area attacks have increased size and have a chance to disrupt enemy actions. Then we have Mystic. The Mystic is a sanctioned psyker who delves deep into the powers of the warp. They are able to push their own power far beyond the limits of other, less skilled psychers, and gain access to a wider variety of abilities. So, obviously, huge psychic ability. Some support, okay amount of defense and ranged, and a little bit of melee and movement. So they have everything, unlike the other people who don't have any psychic, but they just have barely any of some other stuff. They have Push. Before the Mystic uses the next psychic power, Veil Degradation is increased by +3. So, because I don't really know anything about the Warhammer 40k, I'm not going to do Mystic. I was thinking Soldier or Operative or Officer. Let's go with... We'll go normal for right now, just go Soldier. The easiest one for me, probably. Origin. Before the Inquisition took you in, you led a very different existence. It was that past life that provided you with the very skills that first brought you into the Inquisitor's attention, prompting them to make you part of the most powerful organization in the Imperium. Your character's origin grants you a bonus to one characteristic, 3 modifiers to abilities, an active keystone ability, 3 talents that can be selected as the character gains additional levels, several specializations that can be selected as the character gains additional levels, and a choice of origin variant. So we have Astra Militarium. Combat unit. The character designates an ally as their comrade in arms, gaining bonuses when both attack the same enemies. So they get ballistic skill +5, Astra Militarium Hardened Munitions, Esprit de Corps, and Smokeout. Can we look at... No, can't look at those. Yeah, you can. Okay. Bonus damage dealt to armor durability and or wounds with this attack is further increased by 8%. For 1 round, the character's precise attacks suffer only 50% of the usual penalty against targets in cover. For 1 round, the character gains a plus 1 bonus to defense for each ally within their influence. So just press the right mouse button to expand for those. Okay. Imperial Noble. The character saps morale from the target enemy. Okay, so they have plus 5 to Fellowship. This characteristic determines the character's presence, assertiveness, and ability to influence those around them. So they have Imperial Noble, worthy opponent. The attack deals plus 8 more damage against non-disposable enemies. Highborn Supremacy. This ability costs negative 1 HP, less if the noble's morale is 10 or greater than that of an enemy within their influence. Aura of Contempt. The target enemy suffers negative 1 morale if the enemy's morale is above 0. They suffer negative 2 morale instead. Aristocratic Training. The target ally's damage is increased by plus 7 minus target's enemy morale 2% for round 1. What the f? That's some math. Sanctioned Psyker. Obviously not going to be doing this since we're not the Psyker. Fetter. The character can reduce Veil, Degradation, and avoid triggering psychic phenomena with the next use of the psychic power. Okay. Willpower, Perception, Resistance, and Lore. Okay. They got Criminal. Blinding Feint. Targeting an enemy reduces their hit chance. Attacks against that enemy are made with an increased hit chance. Okay. Agility 35, the target. Okay. And then with that, we have Agility plus 5. We have Criminal Needling. The target enemy must pass a metal test. On a failed test, they suffer a 9 penalty on all metal and reflexes skill tests for 1 round. Point Weakness. The target of this ability deals plus 6 vitals damage. Weakling Slayer. This attack deals plus 12 more damage to disposable enemies. I like Criminal. Criminal or Astra Militarium. For 1 round, let's try out Criminal. Alright, Dynasty. Specialization. Every criminal has their own role to play in the dubious activities of those who spurn local laws. Some collect debts using brute force, others concoct elaborate schemes, and still others simply kill for payment. Whatever the case, your skills were so exceptionally useful that, rather than executing you on the spot, the Inquisition instead offered you a chance to put your talents to use for the benefit of humanity. Each role grants you a bonus to 1 characteristic and bonuses to 2 skills, a passive ability unique to each role, a modifier to the criminal origin active ability. So we have Rogue. When the character successfully defends against attacks, it demoralizes their enemies. Okay. Fellowship, Diplomacy, Sleight of Hand. Then we have Assassin. The character deals increased damage to vital parts and reduces enemy morale when they do. Okay. We have Perception, Awareness, and Mobility. We have Enforcer. When hit with melee attacks, enemies without armor have an increased chance to suffer a critical effect. Okay, and then we have pluses to Strength, Athletics, and Tenacity. Tenacity, this combat skill aids in overcoming physical restraints, immobilization, and other debilitating conditions. Okay. Athletics, non-combat skill affects jumping, climbing, and the application of force for utilitarian purposes. And then Strength, ability to lift heavy objects. Okay. Perception, user senses, vitals damage, adding plus perception bonuses to its total. Awareness, one's ability to avoid ambushes, find stashes, and notice hidden details. And mobility, one's bodily dexterity, contortion, and balance. I like the assassin one. Then we have homeworld. The world where a person begins their path leaves an incredible mark on them. The planet's type, rulers, climate, and other qualities are what shapes not only the individual's body, but also their soul. Your character's homeworld grants you a passive keystone ability, bonuses to 2 characteristics and 2 skills, 4 modifiers to abilities, 4 talents that can be selected as the character gains additional levels. So we have Hive World. The character gains morale while adjacent to allies or extra movement while isolated. Okay. You get Fellowship, Agility, Mobility, Wits, and then modifications you have Street Smarts. You have Stick Together, Gang Tech. So this is, okay. We probably don't want Hive World because we didn't choose anything previously that has anything to do with our companions. We have Death World. The chance to suffer critical effects is significantly reduced. If resisted successfully, the character gains morale. So we get Toughness, Perception, we get Resistance, and then we have Paranoia. Scales on TGH bonus instead of character sets. Always on guard. Damage reduction is increased by +4 for a round. Kill or be killed. This attack deals +7% more damage for each stage of critical effect suffered by the Death World characteristic. The weak must perish. The target must pass a metal test or suffer -2 morale. We have Forge World. The character gains morale when their armor is high or extra movement when their armor is low. Okay, so you get something for each one. You have Intelligence, Toughness, Tech Use, and Resistance.
The enemies
Optimization.
are ever present.
Protected Vestment. Removes all levels of burning from the target and grants +2 damage reduction from
Few
the
can
round.
comprehend the scale of the threat we
Truncation of the weak flesh.
face. To know
Pass a
and
medal.
continue regardless is
Okay.
what it means to serve in
Rending
our
the
holy
true
will.
flesh.
May the
If an attack made by the
those
Forge
who
would
stand against
world
us
character reduces an enemy's armor to 0, that enemy suffers 3 more damage. Okay.
will not.
We got Death World or Forge World. I like the plus to perception, resistance. This one has resistance as well. Let's do Death World. Yeah. Alright, Death World. On Death Worlds, the planets, beasts, and sometimes even the environment itself take aggressive and destructive forms inimical to human life. While exceptionally difficult to colonize, many of these planets possess valuable resources that require a permanent human presence, whether an outpost or other form of settlement to harvest them. Those who survive these harsh conditions are rightly considered among the hardiest populations in the galaxy. Each Death World type grants you a bonus to 1 skill. Radioactive Waste, Athletics, +10. Jungle is Awareness. Volcanicity, Demolition. Toxic Wastelands, Medicae. Is that medicine? One's knowledge of human anatomy, yeah, okay. Frozen Waste, Tenacity. Aids in overcoming physical restraints and motivation and other debilitating conditions. Okay, I'm wanting, okay. Awareness, maybe? Avoid ambushes, yeah. Okay, I want Jungle. Characteristics. Characteristics determine the character's strengths and weaknesses and influence their combat capabilities, the effectiveness of skills, and the playstyle. They affect attack, defense, survivability, exploration of the world, and interaction with the environment. At the beginning of the game, the character has 6 points to distribute among the characteristics, investing no more than 2 points into each. Later, upon reaching certain levels, it will be possible to increase characteristics scores further, but each characteristic can be improved no more than 4 times. Okay, so we have perceptions at 40, and then agility and toughness are at 35. Everything else is at 30. So intelligence will give us a little bit more on the lore for Heresy, Warp, Xenos, and Tech use. We could do agility and toughness. Let's do 2 there into weapon skill. Let's do 2 there. And then let's do 2 more into agility. Or do we do 2 more into perception? Movement speed, reaction speed, as well as their ability to evade attacks. Let's do agility. Then appearance. Alright, what face do we want? Honestly, I think this first face is probably the best. Why did it zoom out? I want it zoomed in. Oh, some alien eyes. Actually, I like these first 2. Very squared up jaw right there. Let's go with this one. Body. Guess we'll zoom out to look at that. Whoa, that looks weird. Maybe that's for like the psych one. Go with that one. It's a gray guy. I'm white, very white, so. Oh man. Let's check out the hair. So this is the one we got. This is hilarious. Right now, my hair is really short right now, so none of these are it. Let's go with that. Hair color, that's my hair color. Keep it that.
The witch.
Eyebrows, I don't really care. We'll keep them. We'll keep them what they are.
The enemies of mankind are ever present.
Oh, zoom back in.
Terrible and insidious. Few can come.
Big beard.
The scale of the threat we face. To know and continue regardless is what it means to serve in our holy order. May the Emperor forgive those who stand against us. For the Inquisition surely will not.
Scars, tattoos. I don't know how much we're gonna be seeing this stuff. Augmentations. I don't know if our guy has augmentations. I don't think he does. Alright, let's go with results. Name. Your name should not include special characters and exceed 28. Okay, yeah. So we have, that's our portrait. This guy's got chin, augmentations, and scars, but otherwise, We're from the death world, we're a criminal, and we're a soldier. a 20-minute character creation. But there's an insane amount to that. Protocol, your aching joints are twisted to their limit, locked in manacles. It is hard to breathe. The bitter scent of sacred incense fills your nostrils and throat, making you lightheaded. Inhale. A sharp pain echoes from the ribs broken during the interrogation. Exhale. A swollen artery at your temple throbs in time with the scratching of the Tyrantine cable. Arc transcriptures Cogita Quill. I don't know what these words are. The attention of those present is fixed upon you, but you cannot tear your gaze from the dark eye sockets of the golden mask looming over the stands. So, Tyrantine Cabal, an organization within the Calixian conclave of the Inquisition that is composed of representatives of different holy ordos. The primary duty of the Tyrantine Cabal is to study the mysterious phenomenon known as the Tyrant Star and its related prophecy. Arc Transcriptor, Session 280043-2 Lotopi of the Cabal is now convened. Subject of the session, the loss of the vessel Schultus Valor, the loss of 86% of Terminus, Omega Warband, including servants of the Golden Throne of mid and high rank, Acolyte Iridius Zev, status deceased, Acolyte Persephone Shriek, status deceased, Inquisitor Leander de Taral, status deceased. The accused? Me. Why does my whole body ache? Do I know all these people? Why am I the only one answering at this hearing? Of course, as soon as the verdict reached the docks of the Bastion Serpentis, the few who survived the slaughter aboard Schultus Valor were isolated for debriefing. Standard procedure. The remarkable thing is that after confirming the death of Inquisitor de Taral, they are still willing to hear you out. So let's see what that is. A fortress on the surface of its Scintilla's moon, Lachesis. The Bastion serves as the base of operations and information repository of the Tyrantine Cabal. According to witnesses' testimony, Terminus Omega Warband bears partial responsibility for the loss of the Holy Inquisition's mechanical, informational, and human resources. The death of the Inquisitor, however, is the sole responsibility of the Acolyte. Accused, do you deny your guilt? What transpired was a sequence of unforeseeable circumstances. I acted as the situation demanded. The primary objective of the Warband was the transportation of a classified asset. I fulfilled my duty to the Cabal and the Imperium. Inquisitor de Taral's death is my fault. I could have saved him, but I chose to secure the artifact. The mission was under the command of higher-ranking agents, including Interrogator Toma Ortis. What happened is their responsibility. Let's do this one. The massive servitor Vox erupts into a hiss before giving way to the A's rasping voice of Inquisitor Amazi. You make no attempt to shriek or to shirk responsibility for your actions, But admitting one's faults is not the path to atonement. Only deeds can absolve us of our debt to the fallen. Interrogator Lucen de Foranus. With all due respect to the Cabal, I would beg leave to ask the Acolyte a different question. I propose we address another portion of the testimonies gathered and the remnants of data extracted from the Servo Osorium, specifically those regarding the causes behind the fall of Schultus' valor. Inquisitor Sol Devon wishes to know Are you certain of the version of events you have put forward? Answer, Acolyte. A probing, unblinking gaze stood at your face. There was no doubt in the Inquisitor's mind. The destruction of Schultz's valor was caused by a band of heretic Astartes. The Inquisitor was convinced that heretic Astartes were somehow involved in truth, I doubt this conclusion. I'm not certain. It all happened so quickly my memory may be failing me. Would my opinion change anything? Schultz's valor is destroyed among but all the evidence. No doubt in the Inquisitor's mind. Was convinced, I doubt hit this conclusion. Let's do that one. What intriguing readiness to contradict a patron who is no longer among the living. Amazi's servo emissary. Inquisitor Amazi's voice, streaming from the servitor's vox, cuts through the tense pause. The truly remarkable fact in this entire affair is that the Acolyte survived direct exposure to the light of the Tyrant Star. Let Elijah recount his experience now, lest the knowledge be lost to sudden madness or some other consequence. An unidentified stellar phenomenon also known as the Hereticus Tenebrae Comus and the Spectral Sun, whose manifestation in real space heralds devastating catastrophes. Each appearance of the Tyrant Star is accompanied by warp disturbances and surges of sorcery and mutation, as well as riots and rebellions. Although Tyrant Star has been the subject of extensive inquisitorial study for many decades, its true nature remains unknown. So, Monodominant Amalathian. What use would this tainted knowledge be to you? I was put to the test, yet I resisted the corruption and overcame it. I do not wish to turn my thoughts to these vile memories any longer. Xenos Hybris. Oh. What is that? Okay, so current value 20. An uncompromising exterminator of even the slightest signs of heresy, driven by the high ideals of duty, service to the gods, God Emperor's will, and self-sacrifice. An adherent of the necessity of xenotech research in cooperation with Xenos for the sake of achieving the goal of the Imperium. What an interesting request. I am glad that within the Tyrantine Cabal there remain some who understand the value of knowledge, specifically of the forbidden kind, or say nothing. I mean, we have whatever in that. Of course, of mixed reactions follows your answer. Some of those gathered nod in agreement, while others frown and avert their gaze. The murmuring that surrounds you clearly signals one thing. The Tyrantine Cabal's unity is merely a facade. In truth, a schism is forming within its ranks between the Puritans and those who favor a more liberal interpretation of the Imperium's laws. Alignment shift. Monodomant +2. And Amalathian +2. A staunch believer in God. Okay, so it's the thing we just did. The Inquisitor's question is accepted and admitted to the record. Answer fully and with complete candor. Acolyte. I remember the endless pain, as if a vat of molten steel had been poured over me, as if every bone in my body was being shattered at once. I remember a searing light, impossible to describe with words. It eclipsed everything, but in the end only darkness remained without and within. To tell the truth, I saw something strange, an auditorium filled with strangers and a hollowed figure of sorts that spoke to us. We'll tell the truth. An auditorium? A hollowed figure? The ravings of an afflicted mind. More data is required. Consider this. The Acolyte is either a lucky bastard who survived an impossible situation, or a complete idiot who returned to a stronghold of the Golden Throne's servants while actually being an agent of the arch-enemy. With evidence or without, if we execute the Acolyte now, we may forever lose vital details regarding the nature of the Hereticus Tenebrae. The most efficient course will be to extract the Acolyte's brain for a synaptic reconstruction of memo fragments and replicants of the lost memory segments pertaining to the incident. Do not take my brain. I'd rather you not. I fulfilled the Cabal's mission as duty and protocol demand, and now I'm being branded a murderer. There is no taint upon my soul. I survived because one of the war band pulled me out of the light of the Tyrant Star. Stay out of my head. I have told the Cabal everything I know. I will humbly accept any verdict if it serves the mission of the Tarantine Cabal. Let's do the first one. Our reality is one of eternal struggle for resources, for survival, for hope. A reality full of pain and abhorrent choices where nothing ever goes according to plan. In this very reality, Elijah faced a choice: fulfill his duty to his Inquisitor, or obey the oath he swore to all of humanity. Anyone who claims the choice was obvious is lying to themselves. The loss of Schultz's valor, of the Acolytes, and Leander, it is all meaningless if your bones are left to rot on a doomed planet. But Elijah and Terminus Omega did not merely survive, they delivered the artifact into the hands of the Tyrantine Cabal. Do you truly believe that by volunteering to retrieve the artifact, Leander de Taral did not fully comprehend the significance of his mission? The Inquisitor understood better than any of us the meaning of absolute submission to one's duty, and that same resolve also took root in his acolytes. So I will ask the Cabal only once: does Elijah deserve retribution? Skill tests and dialogues. One of the available dialogue options require making a skill test. Skill will request a character's ability to solve various problems. Yes. Success or failure affect how the dialogue develops. Hover your cursor over the dialogue option that requires a skill test, and you will see a tooltip detailing your chances of success and the party member with the highest score in the epical. It's just us, so. Which test succeeded? Chance over 85%, skill valor plus 40, difficulty modifier plus 45. The fact that Lord Inquisitor Zerbe himself is now your sole benefactor makes your every nerve pull tight. The favor of the mighty carries a steep price, and you have not yet been told the cost. The grand hall fell silent, pale faces, clenched jaws, disapproving stares, yet none dare to raise their voice. Then the golden mask turns towards you, and in its dark eye sockets you finally see a glint of living, attentive eyes. Remove the chains, henceforth Elijah is under my protection. An interesting solution. Well, another agent has escaped execution. Inquisitor's soul divine will be most something. This is because I'm not reading all these. They go too fast. At first, the Lord Inquisitor's words are met with only stunned expressions, before the hall suddenly erupts in a clamor of astonished voices. Here, before the Tyrantine Cabal and the God Emperor, I swear my allegiance to the Lord Inquisitor. Your will is my will. I can never atone for the death of Inquisitor de Taral, but I will do everything I can to ensure his sacrifice was not in vain. I am grateful to the Cabal for its mercy, and to the Lord Inquisitor for the honor of becoming his acolyte. Give curt bow. What are your further orders, Lord Inquisitor? We'll do that one. My, aren't we the serious one? Straight to business, without any groveling or superfluous words. Yeah, I figured that's more what these people are about, you know? The storm survives. Following the mission aboard, Schultz's Valor Terminus Omega Warband was disassembled. Receive gear from Quartermaster Numis. I don't know what that is up there. Enough talk. The Cabal has matters to discuss without you, Elijah. Report to Quartermaster Numis. He will return your gear and prepare you for your next assignment. The Lord Inquisitor makes a sharp gesture, and the guards part, clearing a path to the Grand Hall's exit. The next item on the session's agenda is... This is awesome so far, by the way. I absolutely love this. I don't know what any of it is that they're talking about, but someone died, but we retrieved what we were sent to get. Okay. Got a pistol, stub revolver, sword, medical kit, it's our storm thingy. I wonder... Okay, so we can move with this. Oh, cool. Blind the Aid. A young man with a friendly face and impeccable bearing offers a salute the moment you leave the Grand Hall. Blind Silver's quartermaster's aide, assigned to escort you after the meeting of the Tyrantine Cabal. Master Acolyte, his piercing green eyes study you with genuine interest. Why would I need an escort? Is there something wrong with my face? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, please forgive me, Master Acolyte. It's just that you are the... He hesitates for a few moments. The agent who retrieved an artifact that the Tyrantine Cabal has been hunting for years. I saw it in the atrium, even when sealed in a metal chest. It looks simply unbelievable and dangerous. How did you even manage such a feat? He clears his throat. But I'm talking too much. You have important matters to attend to, not idle gossip from a mere aide. My apologies. Why do I need an escort? Is there something wrong with... Oh, that's what I did. Don't be shy. Speak up. I wouldn't mind hearing how the Bastion got on while I was away. Blind looks up at you attentively. As an aide, I encounter all sorts of news and rumors every day. I can share them with you, but only after you've met with Quartermaster Numis, or else he'll come up with another cruel punishment for my slow work. Why would I need an escort? I don't know. Blind looks somewhat embarrassed. For the time being, I am only an aide under the patronage of Quartermaster Numis. I run errands for him all over the Bastion Serpentis, and now I have been ordered to escort you to him in the convocation room immediately. Then take me to the Quartermaster. Of course, follow me. Our duty is to stop what we could not anticipate. You didn't do a good job. This is so cool. And I know that Owlcat has made another Warhammer game. What's this? Oh, battle skill. Interesting. Oh, not bug report. I was, yeah, I didn't make any choices. I was like, did this mean level up? But I don't know. And I do actually have it. I've just yet to play it. The Baron of the Holy Ordos of the Inquisition, the Defenders of Humanity, the Scourge of Xenos, Sorcerers, and Heretics. We got Consecrated Scrolls, Golden Toke, and Sins. Okay, so there's no info on that.
At once.
I often pray to the God Emperor for the chance of punishment to punish a heretic. Sometimes he grants it. You're that survivor, aren't you? Yes. Where are we going, Blind? To the left? What the hell is that?
Keeping my eyes open.
Lord Inquisitor Zerbus Chambers. Can we go there? Denied. Okay. I keep forgetting I can use the WASD.
Reconnoitering.
That blast of Xenos ripped him in half. Okay. Your informant might have lived if you could just shoot straight, or if your lack of practice, or is your lack of practice my fault too? Maybe I should practice on you, you armory rat. My life is the property of the Inquisition. Are you prepared to deprive the Holy Ordos of their assets? I hope you get eaten by a Grox Numis. Vox Hailer to all servants of the Holy Ordos and the Bastion Serpentis. Words have been spoken, decisions made, and a path. May the God Emperor receive our sacred service. End of transmission. Quartermaster Numis. A solidly built, middle-aged man looks at you over exquisitely handcrafted spectacles before giving a brief nod. Quartermaster Numis, spare me the introduction. You are Elijah. I have already been briefed about you. Blind, you did well for once. The acolyte arrived on time. Blind hides a smile and casts you a look of gratitude. You showed remarkable courage. What did the acolyte want from you? I was told you would issue me new equipment. What did he want? Justice. It's such a commodity. It is not available in the Inquisition's warehouses. A caustic smile flickers across Numis's face for a moment. You showed remarkable courage. Numis's face twists as if he has heard not praise but something profoundly dissatisfying. I have been threatened by people far more intimidating and far larger. I was told you would issue me new equipment. Received item lasgun and sundering something. The quartermaster glances down at the battered data slate in his hands. It says here that Elijah is entitled to non-rotational issuance of equipment due to the unplanned depreciation of the previous set. Here, take it. The next scheduled issue is in 3 scintillion years. Oh, sundering shotgun. Ooh. Okay. And the lasgun. Furthermore, the servant of distribution block Omega 13 or Omega 12, Quartermaster Numis, is hereby instructed to assume the duties of distribution overseer in regard to any blessings issued. He reads more closely, trailing off to muttering. When he finishes, he lifts his cold gaze to you. You've been assigned to the verdict, and I've been assigned to you. I will head to the dock once I have concluded my present business. If you wish to continue this conversation, I'll be waiting for you there. Talma. The interrogator's expression is unreadable in the dull light of the lumens. The painful bruises scattered across his face have taken on a yellowish-green hue, and the split above his brows healing into yet another swollen ridge. Long time no see, Elijah. You look dreadful, Master Ordos. Interrogator, it seems they let you out of the cells much sooner than me. Interrogator Ordos, good to see you back on duty. Ignore him and walk past. Although I say it's good to see. He was doing his job. So you've been cleared for further service, just like the other survivors. The Cabal has a refined sense. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell is going on. So you've been cleared for further service, just like the other survivors. The Cabal certainly has a refined sense of justice. and spare me the formalities. We're of equal rank now, thanks to your devotion to the Tyrantine Cabal's mission. The warband lost an Inquisitor. What kind of interrogator would allow such a thing to happen? Those were their exact words before they stripped me of my status. Usually when the Holy Orders take your rank, they take your head along with it, but somehow you're still walking the Bastion's halls. Do you blame me for Master de Tarl's death too? So the Cabal didn't put you to death after all. I assume we'll be working together on equal footing now, since we're both acolytes. You were punished for a choice I made. That is not right. Well, you're a rather mediocre interrogator anyway. Yeah, we'll say this one. The universe is not a particularly just place. If you are just now realizing that, I can only envy your ignorance. Awareness test failed. Oh. Glancing at the chrono in his hand, Talma loses what little interest he had in your conversation. Report to Lord Inquisitor, received gear from Quartermaster Numis. What? Lord Inquisitor Zerb bade me inform you that he expects you in his work chambers 1 floor above. I would advise you not to tarry unless you wish to forfeit your new patron's favor. You will not find a replacement for him. It's cool. I like how everything is very slow and methodical when it comes to like people walking around and all that. It's pretty cool.
Never still for long.
Oh, he's with me. Okay. What's this? Journal. The Storm survivors. Following the mission aboard Schultz's Valor, Terminus Omega Warband was disassembled for his controversial decision, which had severe consequences for the Holy Ordos. The Acolyte was made to appear before the Tyrantine Cabal. He will have to labor to regain the Cabal's trust and atone for his mistakes through service. Report to Lord Inquisitor. Yes, okay, so this is basically just what we have to do. Gotcha. Can I... Okay, yeah. Q. Oh, is this a puzzle? Talk to Blind. Master Acolyte, how long have you known Numis? It's been a couple of years now since I was assigned to the Quartermaster. The job isn't easy. Most acolytes either choose to ignore aids or else just boss us around. The young man gives a wan smile. But what can you do? Everyone has their own path and way of serving the Holy Orders. With a bit of diligence, I'll soon be allowed to manage the Bastion's resources like Master Numis. What happened in the Bastion during my absence? Holy hell. Let's see. There was an incident in the Archivum Serpentis, and as a result, Lord Inquisitor Zerb has imposed additional security measures. Now his guards are under orders to search anyone who seems even remotely suspicious. Inquisitors are exempt, of course, but acolytes and even interrogators are being searched regularly. Many take offense at that, but who would dare oppose the will of the Lord Inquisitor? Alas, Inquisitors Amazi and Soldovan had a public discussion about the essence of the Hereticus Tenebrae in the far wing, but once again they did not concur. What else? Oh yes, the old auditorium hall near the infirmary was ordered to be repurposed for some new Medicaid project, but I don't know the details yet. Shamps. Let's move on. So there might be a little puzzle here. Oh, maybe it's... yeah, back on. Seems to be a puzzle here, but I have no idea. Probably nothing over here. Let's go. I believe up here is where we're going.
reconnoitering.
Access to the Lord Inquisitor Chamber is granted by the virtue of meritorious service to the Holy Orders. Where's my guy?
Moving.
I guess he's not allowed in here, maybe. A book written in a tongue that barely hints at High Gothic. Servo Minio. Former acolyte of the late Inquisitor Leander de Taral has arrived. Lord Inquisitor. Lord Inquisitor Zerbe. Several long minutes pass in absolute silence. Every now and then whispers of flipped report pages break up the hush. Finally, the Lord Inquisitor closes the leather-bound folder and raises his eyes to you. The destruction of Schultz's valor, the death of Leander de Taral, the loss of the Locanthos system. We live in dark times, rich in great losses. Anton Zerba's hand tightens around the report folder. Leander was convinced that the heretic Astartes were to blame for the destruction of the ship. You agree with his conclusions. I have no reason not to believe you both, even if no solid evidence survived. They have come for us. The clues and markings left aboard Schultz's valor by his executioners. I don't have time to read that. But Leander is dead. The evidence has disappeared, and the words of potentially corrupted acolytes are lacking in credit. To force the Inquisitors to delay their affairs and redirect resources to fight a hidden enemy. One needs strong proof indeed. Proof that a blade has been raised over the capital of Calixus. You will do this. When you receive a new assignment, study your surroundings and seek individual events which, when pieced together, will paint a picture of the lurking evil. Why should prove anything isn't your word good enough? Your word enough? Your trust in our testimony is the highest honor, Lord Inquisitor. How can we be sure that the heretic Astartes have already infiltrated the Scintilla system? Make the sign of the Aquila. I will do all that is possible to complete this task. That is not enough, acolytes. I expect you to go beyond the possible. The time has come when only this will allow humanity to prevail. You made me your choice, acolyte, while others blame me for the death of Master de Taral. Why? For many years, Leander and I forged a path for humanity, side by side, through the infinite darkness. Even when our views of the pain of this galaxy changed, each of us continued to serve him, unwaveringly. And just as Leander once paved the way to the future with the hands of his acolytes, you, Elijah, will become a new bearer of my will. Zerbe removes his inquisitorial sigil from his neck and gives you a strange look. I've received it. One who is incapable of sacrifice will never bring change, but you, acolyte, have shown enough fortitude to do so. He thrusts out his hand and slowly reveals the sigil. Even if you must give up everything and everyone, even if it means losing your own humanity, do it to achieve our goal. A symbol of authority permitting an acolyte to act in the name of their inquisitor. Okay. We've got that one. I'm on a dominant. I am an instrument of the Tyrantine Cabal's will in the eradication of heresy, nothing will deter me from fulfilling this righteous service. We know we have 0 for those, you know. If my humanity becomes the price for fulfilling the will of the Tyrantine Cabal, then I will gladly pay it. Or make the sign of the Aquila upon your chest and offer up a prayer. I guess we'll do this one, since we have a little bit. The colossal figure of Anton Zerbe remains still. Only his golden mask offers a hint of a nod. Alignment shift. +2. Okay. What will happen to the Oraculum Noxus? It has yet to be prepared for the sanctification ritual. When the servants cleanse the artifact with the prayers and the tech litanies run their course, it will take its intended place in the atrium hall, where every servant of the Tyrantine Cabal will be able to watch and study it. Why does the Oraculum Noxus bear such importance to the Tyrantine Cabal? You have seen it at work aboard Schultz's Valor, but perhaps the memories are so painful that your mind refuses to accept them. Even before the cursed light of the Tyrant Star fell upon the world, the verdict and you, the artifact, had radiated a blinding glow, hadn't it? The Oraculum Noxus is nothing but a herald of inevitable tragedy. The rise of the spectral sun, the Heretus Tenebrae. From now on, new catastrophes will not catch the Tyrantine Cabal off guard, because of you and the sacrifice of De Taral. Are there any new assignments for me? Too many. The essence of the Hereticus Tenebrae has remained unknown to the Tyrantine Cabal for hundreds of years. Therefore, you will begin your own investigation of this phenomenon with a clean slate. Revisit every lead gathered by your predecessors, trace connections, and draw new conclusions. Start your research with a visit to the restricted section of the Bastion Serpentis archives. The Lord Inquisitor waves his hand, and the lumens flare in the eye sockets of the servo skulls hovering nearby. I am certain you recognize the servo Osirium. The events aboard Schultz's Valor resulted in considerable damage to the device, but the tech priests managed to restore its functionality. Alas, the same cannot be said of the data from your last mission. I return De Taral's device to you. Use its full potential to carry out the mission entrusted to you. For a few moments, Anton Zerbe remains silent. Is there anything you have not shared with me yet about Schultz's Valor? About what happened to you when the spectral sun shone upon you? Speak. I will listen. We can lie. I've told you all I know, Lord Inquisitor. Or we can tell the truth. I saw something strange, an auditorium filled with strangers and a hollowed figure of sorts that spoke to us. Zerbe says nothing at first, then, I see. But what did this figure want? I'm unsure. It spoke of odd things, a shield against the darkness, the impotence of death, ashes that the Titan's heart would not see. This knowledge must remain between us, Acolyte. Whether your vision was the delusion of a mind fractured by the Tyrant Star's influence or something else. There is more to learn. However, if any member of the Cabal doubts the purity of your thoughts or your free will, even I cannot shield you from execution. Remember this. For a while, the Golden Mask watches you in silence before Zerbe returns at last to the reports folder. Acolyte, in addition to the high priority tasks, you are to take on more mundane duties. Go to the Marist Portal Sectorus Habzone, located in the lower levels of Hive Sibelius. Inquisitor Millicentilla and Sister Septima have been conducting their investigations there for some time. I want you to render them any feasible assistance. Equisently, it seems something has driven them to linger in that dark place. The Lord Inquisitor takes out an ornately embossed envelope and dismissively puts it aside. Afterward, head to the Lucid Palace and meet with Inquisitor Oleanth Rathbone. She has obtained intelligence that some heretic cell plots to assassinate a high-ranking figure during the celebrations of Saint Sibyllus. There is no conclusive evidence that these heretics exist at all. Indeed, this situation appears to be nothing more than the typical squabbles of the aristocracy, and the holy ordos do not waste time on such trivialities. However, there remains a slim chance that this rumor somehow relates to the activity of the traitor Asterius. That is why I'm sending you to take the measure of things. So many assignments. Is the Tyrantine Cabal short-staffed? He told me to find information on the Tyrant Star in the Bastion archives, but what exactly am I looking for? Find Chronicle Keeper Bloodworth. His post is located in the Archival Serpentis. He will guide you to the most important source of information about the Tyrant Star. Short-staffed? The Archival Serpentis has recently lost their litany scribe. If you prefer more ordered service, submit a transfer request to Numis, otherwise stop wallowing. It might have prevented the assassination attempt in the spires. I do not care whether another Lucidian soldier or priest dies, even if the Tyrant Star lit up the sky over Scintilla right now. Each of them would keep gnawing at each other's throats, if only to satisfy their depraved egos in the moments before death. And even when, in the senseless commotion, someone finally devours the weakest, their place will be immediately taken by a successor. The task of the Inquisition is not to save those who consider themselves the chosen of humanity. Our task is to use those who wrongfully believe themselves chosen in the name of humanity's salvation. Thus, even if this heretic cell turns out to be a figment, use this opportunity to remind Scintilla's elite that, in the eyes of the Holy Ordos, none are guiltless. Inquisitor Oleante Rathbone, who is she? As my acolyte, you should be more informed on the active members of the Tyrantine Cabal from now on. Oleanthe Rathbone is currently undertaking a mission on Scintilla, acting as the voice of the Holy Ordos. She is capable of persuading even those who usually only accept the language of force to cooperate. Let her use you if it serves the mission, but do not even think to trust her. What manner of place is the Maris Portum Sectus? I've never heard of it. One of the decaying hab zones of the lower levels, forgotten by Ecclesiari the Magistratum, and perhaps by the God Emperor himself. In recent months, Maris Portum has been drowning in seaquakes. If you hesitate, you will stand a very real chance of seeing nothing but an endless toxic sea that has swallowed all life. What exactly are Inquisitor Millicentilla and Sister Septima doing in the lower levels of the Hive? I assume the details will be shared with you in Maris Portum, if they deem it necessary. Understood. You will need a warband. Acolytes Spes and Davos are currently finishing an inspection in the infirmary. You already know them. As for Acolyte Sero, who will replace Acolyte Shriek as a sanctioned psyker, he can most likely be found in the Temple Hall. Use them as you see fit. Now go. And remember, Acolyte, time is not on our side. Results, not excuses. That is what I expect from you. Alright, so this is actually another day, but I'm gonna splice it in with the first part. This is a hololithic map of Scintilla and nearby void objects compiled with the greatest diligence and covered in thousands of annotations. So, I think this is probably going to be a big multi-part beta, and I'll just be playing this kind of on my off time, because I actually looked up how long it was, and it's about 20 hours for the beta. They say it's most of the first act, except for some side stuff, some companion stuff. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Considering I've played an hour and 15 minutes and we still haven't done anything besides just talk to a dude. It's kind of crazy. Oh wow. Ran down here fast as shit. Let's check on what we got here. So we got the storm survives. Alright, so the medicine wing, or Medicae, which medicine I guess. And Psyker, Sero, and the chapel. Are these our assemble a warband? So yeah, these are gonna be our guys. So the Medicae wing and the chapel. Tend to his surroundings and uncover the true nature of any strange events or phenomena. Echo of the Unearthed. Head to the lower Hab zone of Hive Sibyllus to assist members of the Tyrantine Cabal there. Below the Mars mission location. The upper levels of the Hive city of Sibyllus, known as the Spires. Okay. Bastion Serpentine. So this is where we are. The infirmary, some loot there. Combat training. Here's the chapel. Okay, so you got trophy or loot, important character, point of interest, neutral creature, and enemy. Alright. So go down here probably first.
Moving.
When I eventually play the full game, I'm going to go through and read all of this stuff, because, like I said, still, like, I'm very, very new to Warhammer 40k, so I don't know anything about it, really. Here's the one at top.
At once.
Where the hell are they going? Well, I don't think this is the guy that I'm looking for.
Moving.
Where the hell are we? Oh, I was trying to go down here. Got the sergeant in training facility. Whoa.
Never still for long.
Learned this trick from Sergeant Zev. Saved my hide 3 times already. Okay. Can't do anything here yet. Can I go through here?
Effective as always.
Alright. Gain 2 experience from that.
Keeping my eyes open.
Okay, straight and then left. Like an echo from the past or the future, the reality before you has taken shape, absorbing emotions that had been frozen in oblivion. Clutching your head, you try to calm the pain that is tearing your sanity to pieces. Your heart is pounding, you are short of breath, and the vague figures either a vision or the agonized delusions of a dying consciousness play out the same scene in your mind over and over again. Blind looks anxiously at your face. Master Acolyte, are you alright? Are you feeling dizzy? I have a stimulant, and we are not far from the infirmary. Blind, help me point the finger at the figures. What are these? Peer at the frozen figures. Touch the figures from the vision. Let's touch them. Your hand passes through the blurry silhouettes in a wave of hopelessness and bitterness, emotions that once belonged to someone else and at some other time rolls over you. One killed the other, fired a bolt right into the back of the victim's head and felt regret. This is neither a dream nor a fiction. It definitely happened right here. But how do you know that? You just know it and feel it. It is something natural, though not so before. It is now part of you, something that came with the Tyrant Star's curse. You are unable to control it, and it brings torment to your body and mind. But if this is now an integral part of you, then perhaps one day you will find a way to turn this power to your advantage. So nothing there. Open your mind to this new experience. Pray to the God Emperor and banish the phantasm. You make the sign of the Aquila and shut your eyes tight. As you recite the litanies, the pain gradually subsides and you recover your breath. The intrusive vision slowly dissipates into thin air. +1 for on a dominant, and I'm a Lathian. So that happened. The pile of the ancient carpet glistens with a faint stain left there by a cleansing agent. Fresh bolter fire scars blemish ancient masonry. So I guess that's how we can...
No sense in delaying.
Like investigate. Straight down is the infirmary. Can we go through here, buddy? No entrances, huh? You and I have been serving the same Inquisitor for 5 years now. Let me in. Ah, blast you. Okay, so no entrance. What do we got? On the mysteries of mental indoctrination on the death words of the Calixis sector. Inside the compact metal tube sealed with several locks, the pages of an ancient manuscript rustle. The lid bears the title in elegant high Gothic handwriting.
Mind your surroundings.
Disease Observation Journal. Thus, I am forced to conclude that Scintilla is thoroughly and dishearteningly unprepared for pandemics of any kind. Standing out in the most lamentable manner even against this backdrop of monstrous negligence, the lower sectors of Hive Sibyllus are potentially even more vulnerable in the face of rapidly spreading contagions. I can state with full confidence that both local infectious agents, such as those found in a veritable sea of chemical waste, and external ones, check for the presence of somnus rations, find a clear path to proliferation, submitting petitions to the magistration for the allocation of resource for anti-contagion measures. Sleight of hand 70%. What do we quick save real quick? Oh, we got a triumphant stub revolver. Better than ours. Has precise shot and the pistol single shot. Does better damage. And it also has triumphant. The winner gains plus 10% hit chance while their morale is above 0. Oh, that's blind. So, let's look at... Where's the other revolver? Let's put that one there. We have a sword that does 7 to 10. Same thing. Claymore. Has precision attack. This one's a two-handed though. Okay, so that replaces the gun. Never mind. What about this? Can I put the I can put the sword there, but we also have the sniper. We have a shotgun, a las gun that does hardly anything. Auto gun. Then we have a spotter's bolt pistol. Interesting. We can have that and this. Where are our... Oh, here they are. Adjunct info. Okay, so there was a little bit more, I believe. Anti-contagion measures has not met with success. A 24th attempt with an updated list of arguments must be undertaken. Okay, so there was more to it. So these two things must be a little bit important because they have a different color behind them. Analyze the acolyte's condition. Grant him the Emperor's peace. Let's look at his condition.
Best to try a different approach.
A feverish heat, a sight, an hypnotic face, and unceasing pain, the terminal stage of an illness in which the patient first loses their sanity and then their life. examine it. It hurts. I'm burning it up inside. I beg you, kill me. Grant him the Emperor's peace. Guess we killed him. Handwritten note. Inform all Medicae on this shift and the next. And this important to keep the Acolyte conscious until the upcoming interrogation. Fatality is unacceptable. This is an order from the interrogator. C. It's best not to argue with her.
Never still for long.
Inspect.
That is
The
beyond
life
anyone's ability.
of the mutilated agent is in the hands of the God Emperor alone. There's Epion. Anything else before we talk to her? Hamer. Epion. Our colleague is here, pausing her examination of the soldier's prosthetic. The white-clad Medicae looks you over with a piercing gaze. I understand that in light of the events in the Grand Hall, our unspoken compact of fellowship demands that I offer some words of support. The Shurigan's eyes scan your face. The scalpel claw affixed to her hand tenses with a screech before she looks away. When she speaks again, her tone is notably colder. However, all of the accusations leveled at our warband were justified. We lost an Inquisitor and demonstrated a lamentable lack of competence. Don't start. Did we or did we not retrieve that thing from Schulter's valor? The mission was accomplished, and the Cabal agrees. De Taral knew the risks when he decided to lead the warband band personally, and he paid the price for his lack of focus. Hamer's keen eyes settle on you. You didn't come here just to talk, did you, Elijah? Hamer and Epion turn their eyes to the aide beside you, and the young man instinctively steps back. My name's Blind, and I am an aide stationed under Quartermaster Numis. At your service. I suppose we'll be working together, or maybe not. In any case, pay me no mind. What's everyone's status? Unsatisfactory. Would prefer to decline further explanation. Hamer rubs the muscles just above his augmented leg. A few scratches. Nothing Epi can't fix. Lord Inquisitor Anton Zerb granted me his patronage and tasked me with assembling a warband to carry out his mission. Hamer lets out a low whistle. Not bad. And you want us to work for you now? Could be worse. You strike me as someone who knows how to prioritize. Epion's hands freeze above the prosthetic. You notice a barely perceptible tremor in her pastel claws. I must request a deferral in the execution of this assignment. At present, I have more urgent tasks to attend to. Oh, so we have Intimidation 40. This is not a request. It's an order from the Lord Inquisitor, and your opinion holds no sway over it. Wits, 65%. We cannot succeed in this mission without your exceptional intellect and medical knowledge. Or Medicae, 85%. We are being sent to the lower hive. I am certain there will be much for a physician of your caliber to study there. So we'll go with that. Gain 1 experience. We succeeded. I deem that assumption substantiated. The Shurigan makes a couple of notes on a data slate. Furthermore, this assignment ultimately coincides with my own, but this is of no consequence. Acolyte Elijah, I am Epion Spes Medicae Acolyte reporting to you. I stand ready to execute any reasonable order, provided it does not endanger humanity or the Imperium. Hamer simply nods at you. Hamar Devos, at your service. Is there anything you need to prepare before we set off? Akatachin slaps the scabbard strapped to his intact leg. I'll second it. When do we move out? I would recommend visiting the quartermaster before departure to replenish our supply of Medicae kits. We need to collect one more member for the warband, a psyker named Cero. Epion's face darkens. Another psyker. As we have had occasion to witness, the presence of such an individual poses a significant danger to the entire group. Just stand clear when he explodes. Hamar flashes a grin. Or when he makes others explode. A most sensible recommendation, Hamar. I shall endeavor to follow it. It is unclear from Epion's tone whether this is sarcasm or a genuine intention. We have two assignments, one in the lower hive in the Maris Portum Sectoris Hab Zone, the other in the spires of Sibyllus. Any thoughts on which we should handle first? Hamar's eyebrows rise slightly. We're heading to the spires without an inquisitor. Can't wait to see the looks on those polished faces when they see us. A coincidence of remarkable timeliness. Ignoring Hamar's surprised look, Epion continues. The fact is, I was just preparing to file a request to visit that particular lower hive hab zone as part of a research team. I will elaborate further once we have concluded discussing the assignment. Well, then, ready to go? Hamar cracks his neck. Time to stretch our legs. Alright, so we got two more people.
Reconnoitering.
Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the map. So that's where we were. We've been there. There's Sorrow, so we need to go there. Okay, so we need to go behind us. And also to the Quartermaster, which we're right here, so. And a natural cold, one that pierces to the bone. Oh shit. Damn it. I don't know why I went to the Acolyte. Alright, let's talk to these guys. We've already discussed everything. Come back for the rest later at the docks. Okay. Alright, so we'll be going, back here. Okay. Thank you. Welcome back.
No sense in delaying.
Alright, so left is where we will go. Humongous doors, by the way. Lethe crafted blades, synths, and a transuranic charge. Chronicle Keeper Bloodworth. The gaunt man raises his augmented eyes to you. The massive ocular lenses whir as they grind into focus upon your face. Ah, are you the acolyte who recently delivered a most remarkable artifact from the Icanthus system? It was originally described by the xeno-archaeologist Marcus Lucius Trenzers in his Contemplations, a great achievement for the Tyrantine Cabal. All thanks to you. The man nods in approval. Who are you? I have not seen you here before. Blind the aide. Master Acolyte, you are not listening to me at all, are you? an unfortunate accident occurred with the previous Chronicle Keeper, and this is Chronicle Keeper Bloodworth, assigned to the Archivum Serpentis on the Lord Inquisitor's orders 2 cycles and a dozen turns ago. I oversee the preservation of tomes, scrolls, documents, and, most importantly, history itself, as the keepers before me have done. Yes, that should be comprehensive enough. Could you tell me more about the Archivum Serpentis? With a dry, nearly emaciated hand, he gestures across the hall. This abode allows one to barely scratch the surface of the knowledge that lies embedded within the depths of the Bastion Serpentis. Only the most frequently requested and most necessary to peruse works are assembled here. The true treasure is concealed from uninitiated eyes in the restricted section, and even deeper than that. If one day you decide to devote your life to their preservation, I shall assist you in drafting a petition for transfer into our cohort. To begin your acquaintance with this section, I would recommend exploring the archival shelves. Choose something light at first. The memoirs of Inquisitor Valnus Cade, for instance. You may also consult the auditory records stored within the cogitator on the level below. Some of those I myself find rather engaging. I must go. Alright, so he's just a record keeper. This is a library, basically. There's the Psyker Acolyte. Is that the... I don't think that's the person we actually have to talk to. Let me in.
At once.
Ooh. Essay on the Morning Star. Oh, no, nothing to read, huh?
Tread carefully.
Good as ever slides thinner. As you shift a heavy book, an inconspicuous keyhole comes into view. Can we do anything about it? Oh, we're over here. I was trying to get over here. But we got some loots. Cover. Screams rings through the heavens, devastation approaches. Ten minutes passed. That was weird. A study on the Bastion Serpentis, and what is most intriguing is that the walls of the Bastion Serpentis were raised with a paramount purpose, to conceal the greatest multitude of secrets, rooms between walls, rooms beneath stairs, rooms below rooms, and so on, and so on, and so on. Hundreds, thousands of secrets have been lost in the winding walls of the Bastion, and just as many will be lost in the future. Take, for instance, the study of Inquisitor Barnabas Grizz. Once this venerable man was among the finest members of the Ordo Xenos, delved into the nature of light and shadow, and battled the spawn of darkness. His study, they say, held the grim secret of his research. However, later, the room was remodeled, given a new purpose, and knowledge of its hidden places was lost beneath the weight of decades. Who knows what Inquisitor Grizz hid from prying eyes? Who knows? Was that the, maybe at some point we find
No sense in delay.
whatever that keyhole goes to or whatever? Yeah.
Never still for long.
For they who doubt have already turned away from his light. Bow your heads and temper your spirit. Guard against fear through service, for the battle scars the sacred marks of duty. Pray to him not for salvation, but for endurance, for they who stand with humanity to the very end are already saved by him.
Reconnoitering.
Oh, can't go past the Sister of Battle. Where's this loot they speak of? Ah. Psalm of Sibelius the Infallible. O soldier infallible, Sibelius saint, the archenemy crushing with your sure hand, protecting humanity from inhuman taint. The equal of war machines across the land, all banners and Aquilas were his to claim. Incorrupt in our memory, he will not fade, for he dethroned a tyrant to rule his domain. But to our anguish unending he was betrayed. Sibelius the good became a traitor's prey, his flesh our hopes rent asunder by villain's knife, and so our words of praise to silent grief gave way. Our holy saint now abides in eternal life. Turn your thoughts to the God Emperor. The light of the candle flames dances across the cold, polished plaques before you. Each one bears the names of fallen inquisitors and interrogators who served the Bastion Serpentis in the Tyrantine Cabal. The plaque bearing the name of Leander de Taral casts reflections onto your face. Time and the heart of the candles have not yet dulled its shine. Clear your mind and offer up a prayer to the God Emperor. A fervent whisper escapes your lips, breaking the repose of the chapel. You recite the litanies again and again until the words run out altogether. Their absence feels right as calm and stillness gently envelop your very being. Swear to the God Emperor that you shall endure all in his name, no matter the cost. Ask the God Emperor to grant rest to the souls of your departed comrades. Look at that one. A deep breath takes the swarming thoughts away. The chapel is filled with muffled sounds and the smell of incense. It is time to get back to the mission. Blind the aide. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice the aide as he carefully studies the names on the plaques. An unpleasant grimace twists his unusually genial face. Catching your gaze, Blind seems to relax once more. I hope you're feeling better. Everyone of his subjects needs a sanctuary where the spiritual, even if only for a while, can triumph over the burdens of the flesh. I come here, too, in moments of distress, and my prayers to the God Emperor always end up guiding me well. Oh. For those rad pack times 6, 135 monies, I'm guessing. Monies. Alright, so this is not where we needed to be, I guess. Wait, it says sorrow, but I don't see... Oh, so the one of them moved. Oh, no, they didn't. Okay. A slight wiry man stands before the wall of memory, his gaze tracing the endless lines of script in quiet reverence. After a long moment, he turns towards you. His piercing blue eyes seem to glow faintly. Do you seek something, Acolyte? Are you Sorrow, the sanctioned psyker? The man nods slowly. Indeed, and you are Elijah, one of those who returned from the perilous journey to the Locanthos system. The God Emperor has granted you his mercy, a rare and precious thing. I am pleased to make your acquaintance. I cannot help but overhear your prayer. It came from the heart. The man bows his head in gratitude. It came to me as I pondered our duty before the guardian of humanity, before our master, our beacon in the impenetrable darkness of the void. I am glad it touched your heart as well. I was tasked with finding you and recruiting you for my warband. The Tyrantine Cabal has entrusted me with a mission. So, the Tyrantine Cabal has deemed you righteous and restored you to the ranks of its servants. I had thought that contact with the Heresy of the Tyrant Star would have rendered you an outcast. Sorrow casts a glance at the memorial stand, where a plaque bearing Leander de Taral's name has already been placed. Too many of those sent to Locanthos have perished in the depths of corruption. My only solace is that for one of them, Persephone, my sister, by curse, a swift death becomes a bitter gift, sparing her the dreadful torment of survival. But that lies in the past, and now a new duty awaits us. I heed the Cabal's command and stand ready to accompany you to face new trials. Were you and Persephone close? No, she kept her distance, yet I have always considered it my duty to keep watch over those who share the curse of witchcraft with me within these walls. Sarah glances at the memorial plates on the wall. His lips move in a brief prayer. She was strong, but she was taken too soon, and her name will remain only in my memory, not in the metal of this wall. What kind of psyker are you? What sorcery do you command? When the God Emperor's grace fills my heart, I give it form in purifying flame. Cyrus's eyes flare with fire, a fearsome contrast to the psyker's placid expression. I'm the conduit of his high wrath, which reduces his enemies to ash and burns away the heresy that has taken hold of the weak and the lost. Epione quickly types something into his data slate, glancing disapprovingly at the psyker. Noticing your look, she shrugs. I took the liberty of drafting a request for an increased allotment of burn ointment for our team. Cero smiled faintly. A commendable precaution, though somewhat excessive, for the God Emperor knows his own, and shall judge them accordingly. You are suspiciously well informed about me. A hint of slyness touches Cyrus's smile. Rumors spread easily among those permitted within these walls. Besides, I am often consulted on the nature of the warp and psychic ability. Your return and your painful experience in particular are of greater consequence to the Bastion Serpentis than you seem to realize. What is this place? A chapel of the God Emperor. Even those who serve him with fervor require solace and prayer to endure their trials, and this, the man gestures towards the structure of metal plates. The Wall of Memory, a place of reverence for the Inquisitors who gave their lives to his glory. The mere sight of these names, carved in metal, fills one's heart with the resolve not to let those sacrifices be in vain. Very well, we must go, Sorrow. The God Emperor protects Elijah. Blind the Aid. I'll leave you to it, Master Acolyte. I hope my escort made your return to the Bastion a little brighter, and that I wasn't too intrusive. The Aide smiles and gives you a slight shrug. Since I am assigned to Quartermaster Numis, and he is now assigned to your warband, it seems we'll see each other often. I am at your service at any time. Blind makes the sign of the Aquila. The Emperor protects you. Protects Acolyte. Thank you, Blind.
No sense in delaying.
Alright. We haven't been over here. I guess we'll just check real quick. Okay, can't go over there. Alright, so from here, convocation room. We've been to the infirmary. We've been over there. We've been here, been there. Okay. Take the gun cutter into your service. After taking critical damage on Locanthos, the gun cutter verdict has been restored by the servants of the machine cult. The Acolyte must head to Terminal Lachesis Omega and find the pilot Yermis Haas aboard the gun cutter. Orientation point, the elevator in the southern part of the Bastion Serpentis past the atrium. Okay. Okay, but this one, I think, yeah. Past the atrium. The elevator past the atrium. Forgot the map was already right there. So down here, I believe. Oh no. God damn it. Oh, what? Bastion Serpentis Guard. Halt, Acolyte. Weary eyes examine you mechanically from head to toe. Biter of the Lord Inquisitor, individual searches are to be conducted in the interest of Bastion Serpentis security. Stand up straight, arms and legs slightly apart. It's just a routine check, nothing personal. We can allow ourselves to be searched, as you say. Do you even know who you are detaining, guard? I'm running late for a mission. Yeah, allow as you say. Praise the throne. I get at least one decent acolyte per watch. One of the guards trains his weapon on you while another methodically searches your pockets, boots, sleeves, and pouches. What is this thing? Unlawfully appropriated manuscript from the Archive Serpentis discovered. What? The guard turns the sealed metal tube you found unattended in the Bastion's halls over in his hands. I don't see a sanctioning tag from Chronicle Keeper Bloodworth. Removing any documents from the archival Serpentis without his permission is strictly forbidden. Go and return it to him. It's not mine, I only found it. Yeah. And I only found it on you, so that makes it yours. Return the Chronicles to the Keeper. Brighten the old man's day. My work here is done. Among the Acolyte's personal items, an unlawfully appropriated manuscript from the archival Serpentis has been discovered. The Bastion Guard insists on the manuscript's immediate return to the custody of Chronicle Keeper Bloodworth. I don't know where he is. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Although if it was, it must be somewhere down here, right? Oh, okay, yeah, I thought it was him, but I wasn't sure. Poor Galaham. Catching your look, the Keeper decides to explain. That Psyker, the one the guards punished, he studied Comus, much as you do now, but he failed to endure the burden of such knowledge. Hand over the tube. I found an unclaimed manuscript in the Bastion's Hall, as it seems to belong to the archival Serpentis. We gained 100 experience. Unclaimed, you say? Has some acolyte once again neglected the sacred rules governing the use of the archives? And where were those dunces on guard duty looking? The Keeper's face turns abruptly pale as his gaze falls upon the lid of the tube. What is this? A text from the restricted section? But how? These documents are not to be transferred from the archival Serpentis, nor even from this very hall. He glances at the data slate resting on the desk before once more examining the tube. By the throne, someone has fixed an incorrect identifier to these papers, and not to these alone. Several other documents from the restricted section have entered general circulation and been dispersed through the Bastion. They must be returned at once to their proper place. Yes, I shall see to it. Thank you, Acolyte. Do you need any assistance with the lost documents? Assistance? No. Yes, perhaps. He hesitates, but then hands over a data key. One of the cogitators in this hall, on the level below, contains records of all requests made to the restricted section. If you can determine who is responsible for the unauthorized transfer of documents from the archive, I shall contrive some means of expressing my gratitude. Okay. So we have another, we've got another quest.
No sense in delaying.
A steady hum emanates from the cognitor's innards. The machine spirit has been roused from its slumber and is awaiting further instructions. Read the request log. Over the past 5 days, access to the restricted section has been requested by Servo Archivist. 15 requests, Acolyte of the Inquisition. No requests, Chronicle Keeper, no requests. Request a tome from the restricted section. Attention, Servo Archivist is unable to fill the request. Okay.
At once.
Okay, lore, heresy, inspect it. Gain to experience in it. This ancient tome contains an impressive collection of... God damn it. Okay. Collection of historical essays, personal notes, lost chronicles, and encrypted documents regarding the funding of the Celtic Conclave of the Inquisition. Suitable items. Essay on the Morning Star. Oh, what is this? Oh, we're putting it there.
Be on your guard.
Ooh.
Keeping my eyes open. I always land on my feet.
Helm of Resolve. The wearer gains plus 10 metal. The target allies of the wearer's psychic powers gain plus 12 to their combat skills. Metal reflexes resist. Okay. Oh no, wait. Let's get the Psyker. That's for him. Several books, manuscripts, and scrolls on disparate subjects have been gathered together in one place. Upon examination, it becomes clear what unites them, a secret cipher in the margins of each one that forms the word reflected. The longer you stare into the mirror, the more obvious it becomes that the reflection is peering back with conscious interest, and that you do not control its movements. Anything else? No. Yeah, it was that keyhole, but that was it. Why is everybody? Come on, my
You
guys.
have my attention.
Where's everybody else? Oh, he's right there. Okay. Okay, I feel like that's probably all we can do here for right now. At this archetype rank, the character can increase their skill values. Oh, okay. Is this me? Yeah, okay. Do we just do one? Yeah, okay, so we just do one. Avoiding bleeding, evading threats, endangers heirs, additionally improving one's chances of... Okay. I don't know how much sleight of hand is going to help us, but... So we can pick one of these, I guess. Rapid fire. The soldier's ranged burst attacks gain plus 100% rate of fire, but each shot is directed toward a random target within a cone. Those burst attacks cost 1 AP. Cannot be used simultaneously with a running gun. Shockwave shots. Scaling characteristics is ballistic skill. And we get plus 3. We're at 30. The area of effect of the soldier's grenades and ranged area attacks is significantly increased. Each target hit by those attacks must pass a tenacity test with 34 multiplier, or its concentration is disrupted. Yeah, let's do this one. Why is it a star? Specialization. Anti-armor. Plus 30% more damage to enemy armor. That's probably pretty good. Precise. Attacks gain plus 25% hit chance. This character gains plus 5 agility and perception. They also gain plus 10 awareness and plus 10 metal. That's probably pretty good. This one gains plus 5 perception, intelligence, awareness is 10 in metal. Let's do anti-armor. Let's do agility. Cool. Alright. Level her up. I don't... Oh, okay, there we go. I was gonna say, I don't know what she is. So she's a soldier. I don't know her homeworld or archetype. Her background is Shurigan. Ballistics, intelligence, Medicaid, wits. Okay. So right now she's got intelligence and agility and fellowship. Okay. I don't know what the fuck this is. Okay, so look at her claw hand. So she is a soldier. But she's a medic, but she seems to be also into melee. Let's do this one so that she can move around. He's also a soldier. So heavy weapons. Yeah, so he's a big heavy weapons guy. He's got ballistics and toughness. Then he's got some perception as well. go burst fire. Let's go a little bit more into ballistics. So we've got 2 that are locked. He's got Mystic as an archetype. Sanctioned Pyromancer, so of course fire. He's got Telekinesis and Pyromancy. Okay. Character creates an aura that increases morale and defense of all allies who come into contact with it. Let's do that one. We'll do some more on the intelligence. Okay. Oh, okay. So is that like when we find books, we can put them in there? I think that's what that is.
We mustn't linger.
Gotcha.
Always on the move.
Oh wait, don't we need to go down here? Or is this the elevator? This must be the elevator.
Keeping my eyes open.
Oh, we can't go in there. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, this is where I wanted to go.
Never still for long.
Terminal that chases Omega. Is that where we're trying to go? Yes. Alright. It's crazy to me. Almost 2.5 hours in, and I've yet to do any combat. That's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, I always forget that you have to press any key. Where's everybody else? I guess they don't need to come back here. Sleight of hand.
Resolved.
Alright, I guess I got stuff. Quartermaster Numis. The Quartermaster is cross-referencing something on a long scroll with the contents of a hefty, hard-bound book. Noting your approach, he rolls up the parchment. Quartermaster Numis, warranted by the Inquisition, has arrived at the Acolyte's base of operations. His cold voice rattles off the rehearsed words. And now that the formalities are out of the way, you are just in time, Acolyte. I didn't even have to send a Vox message. There is a certain issue regarding our potential allies on Scintilla that requires attending. By order of the Lord Inquisitor, it falls to you to deal with it. That is, unless you have more urgent concerns. Numis' tone leaves no room for doubt. For someone of your standing, there can be no matter more pressing than Anton Zervis' assignment. I need to restock. I'm sure you do. Where's would you like to look over? The Scintillian missions wares. Okay, so is this is what we have, right? Sell all junk. Okay, so these are junk, and these are junk. Okay, I thought maybe these were like, they look like propane tanks. I thought maybe they were junk. Multi-key. Universal lockpicking tool provides an additional opportunity to open a lock, an expendable item. Okay. We have 515. This gives us 90. We'll get one. That's it. Oh, it's only 12. Okay. The stack, I guess, was 90. I guess we'll get two. Look over the proffered gear. Is this all you have? What's the issue with our allies? Glad to see you're taking an interest. Now, the Quartermaster unfurls another scroll from the endless pile beside him. The Inquisition has in its possession a fully functioning yet unneeded Laban, Russ battle tank, to which multiple factions across the Calixis sector have now laid claim. Some of these factions could greatly benefit the future endeavors of the Tyrantine Cabal, provided we show a small measure of forbearance and understanding by handing over the relic. Which factions are you referring to? The Scintillian mission is the official representative of the Adeptus Ministorum in the Calixis sector. You might consider them the living embodiment of the Essentiare, whatever that word is. In this part of the galaxy, the Scintillan Fusiliers are regiments of the Astra Militarum, recruited from this planet and thus carrying significant political influence. The Lath World's fleet arrived in the system long ago and actively protects the interests of the Adeptus Mechanicus. And, of course, there are the Lucidians. They make up the nobility of Scintilla, with the planet's governor, Lord Calixis Marius Hax, as their leader. Naturally, there are others, but these four are of primary interest to the Tyrantine Cabal. They possess resources and power that, with the proper stimulus, could be directed towards goals favorable to the Inquisition. Well, why should the Inquisition show forbearance and understanding in the first place? Whatever happened to fear and awe? What benefit could each of them potentially bring? Why am I the one who has to decide this? This may be the least important question of all, but where did that spare tank come from? Time to think about it. Yeah, whatever happened to fear and awe? Numus clicks his tongue approvingly. Nothing happened. Fear and awe they know well already. You could say those are our most familiar and convenient tools. In this instance, however, as a representative of the Tyrantine Cabal, you have the option of taking a subtler approach by cultivating in them not just servility, but something even more rare, gratitude. What benefit could each of them potentially bring? I assume you mean for you personally? Resources. The Centillion mission can provide us with chain weapons, bolters, and flamers from their fanatics' arsenals. The Fusiliers can supply heavy weapons and armor as well as sniper rifles. The Elath World's fleet is ready to offer plasma and melta weapons, not to mention their fearsome omission axes. The Lucidians have access to dueling weapons, psyker armaments, and certain specimens of the Xenos gear. Numus winks at you. I hope the potential benefits of diplomatic efforts are a bit clear to you now. This may be the least important question of all, but where did that spare tank come from? A reclamation from a distant part of Scintilla. I assume it comes from one of the ancient sites of skirmishes between the defenders of the Imperium and the enemies of humanity. Although the passage of time and harsh conditions have done little to harm the tank's internal workings, all identifying marks on its exterior have been erased, leaving its original ownership unclear. Currently, the Tyrantine Cabal has determined that the Lemon Russ holds greater value as a reputational asset rather than for its material worth. Why am I the one who has to decide this? Because, after the death of Inquisitor de Taral, Anton Zerb made you his personal acolyte, an astounding honor for someone like you. He wants to see how you make judgments on political matters, and what kinds of decisions you tend to favor. A sensible precaution, albeit a somewhat belated one. I'm ready to make my choice. Numus raises his hand over the data slate. I'm listening. Shit. I guess we'll just go with the first one then. The Centillion mission. Numus carefully records your answer. I will prepare the required transportation warrants immediately. Very well. I consider this matter settled. Alright, I think that's it for that. Oh, there's my guys. Some loot over there.
Keeping my eyes open.
I will say the only thing about the map is I can never tell which direction my guy's facing. I guess this maybe is supposed to be I'm facing towards my guys, but that wouldn't make sense since they're down here. Okay, that is where I thought I was going. Okay, so it does seem, yeah, I mean, I don't know why it said I was I do have a multi-key. Success. Boots of Masochism. Whenever the wearer is hit for the first time in a round, they gain +1 morale. Oh, 2 of those and 2 multi-keys.
No
Oh, yeah.
sense in delaying.
The verdict.
Mind your surroundings.
Laser gun optic conversion module. Set of icons. Guess that's just junk. There are currently no unloading operations in progress, and the storehouse doors are locked. Ooh. Tox dispenser module.
Reconnoitering.
The engraving reads, "The God Emperor sends forth his servants into the darkness without fear and value, duty above life." So, interesting. I don't know if that did anything though. Still just me down here.
Always on the move.
Your Messias. Commander, my regards. A tall and painfully thin man in uniform bows to you with such zeal that it seems he might snap in half. A sly smile plays on his sharp-nosed face. Your Messias, pilot of the gun cutter Verdict, ready to serve in the name of the God Emperor. It's fortunate that you've been appointed as the new commander of the gun cutter. After Master de Taral's death, the Verdict and I could have ended up with anyone. It's a relief to see a familiar face. As he mentions your fallen mentor, the pilot grows somewhat somber. So then, shall we begin your assuming of command? What is the ship's condition? We've been roughed up badly, to be sure, but the tech priests of the Bastion Serpentis did solid work. I personally kept an eye on them. Pick any bolt, I saw it being screwed in, and even gave a few instructions myself. A smug smile never leaves Uranus's thin face as he blatantly exaggerates his role in repairing the ship. Why are you calling me commander? The commander. Ah, pay it no mind. House waves his augmented hand as if shooing away insects. Naval habits. Calling you captain feels off. The ship's too small for that, but commander sounds dignified and fitting. How are you faring after Schultz's valor? The pilot's animated face turns to stone. I try not to remember, Commander. I've become rather good at it. I thank the God Emperor for every dreamless night. How do I take command of the gun cutter? The Verdict is a ship with history and character, Commander. There are certain traditions to follow. To begin with, you must take your first Vox transmission from the communication sanctum. I'll contact you via the comm bed. When you are finished, we'll also test the internal Vox communications while we're at it. We have intimidation at 50. Epione is the best for it. I'm not going to deal with this nonsense. Just report over the Vox that I've taken command. I don't care about that now. Very well, I'll return shortly. No, I don't know. You know, like I said, it maybe if it was like a second playthrough or something. And I knew.
Keeping my eyes open.
Sarah's here. Okay, this is where everybody is. Okay. This is like our ship. Gotcha. I was slow to realize that. I guess that's where Saros
At once.
is. That's probably why there's no loot. Alright then. Alright. Test the Verdict's Vox Center. After taking critical damage on Locanthos, the gun cutter Verdict has been restored by the servants of the machine cult. The Acolyte must head to Terminal Lochesis Omega and find the pilot Irmis Haas aboard the gun cutter orientation point, the elevator. Okay, yeah. We just have to test the Vox Center. Wherever that is. I think, yeah, we've explored everywhere here, though. Yeah. I'm glad it makes that little noise when the loading is done. Okay. I guess it just took a second. Just so that whenever you it's done, you're not just sitting there waiting. Because like I said, I'm not sometimes just not used to when you have to press, you know. So where else can we explore? I think we may have been everywhere and we just need to go probably go back and do that. Yeah, we've been to the infirmary. Okay, that we've completed that one. Okay. And I guess this is somewhere else, not where we are. This one and this one. And this is just keeping a sharp eye. So like inspecting. Okay, yeah, so we just need to, so I didn't need to, I did not need to leave that spot, I don't think. Just wasted time. This is not what I need to do. Test the verdicts Vox Center. Not quite sure what that's entailing. Vox Caster.
Never still for long.
Maybe it was just outside of here. Alright, so I just didn't go in this room earlier. Vox station. The calm beat in your ear activates. Uranus's voice cuts through the static. The God Emperor protects. How do you read me, Commander? I hear you not very clearly, but loud enough. That's good enough. There was this one time when I contacted a comrade over the internal Vox, and he started responding. Then it turned out he'd been dead for 3 cycles. Well, the rest of the story drowns in static. I'm done with the communication sanctum. What's next? Servants of the Adeptus Ministorum have delivered a new tome of ship's litanies to your quarters, Commander. You should collect it, and while you are there, see how everything's been set up for you. Exceptional comfort, you know? Haas out. Our quarters, huh?
No sense in delay.
Yeah, because I hadn't looked in here either. This is where Epiome is, and this is where Hammer is. Guessing these are mine, because this is where the Psyker is. Litania Voidus. A heavy-bound book smelling of sacred unguents is slightly scorched at one corner. Here is Haas. The God Emperor guides us, Commander. I have no clue what happened to the last book, but aboard the verdict we have a custom. The new captain places a tome of the Litania Voidus in the ship's chapel and offers praise to the God Emperor, so you'll need to go to the chapel too. What is the Litania Voidus? A collection of litanies devoted to travel through the void, protection from the horrors of the warp, and the maintenance of the ship's machine spirits. The essentials, you know. Heading to the chapel. Well, we know where that is. Oh, no. Wrong way. We inspected it, and the machines around us flew. Oh, I already did this. Is this not, or is it saying, the actual chapel and not the one on the ship? Bring the Book of Litanies to the Guncutters Chapel. Litanies. Is not the chapel? Maybe it's just a giant thing. Maybe I haven't been to the chapel. Unless the is the Guncutter the name of this ship? That's the Bastion Serpentines. Because our ship is the Verdict. Because I'm wondering if it's talking about this chapel right here. Ah. Wait for the end of the service. This is a new one. Do we wait for the end and then we give the book to the dude? Three hours, holy hell.
Always on the move. It'll work next time. Every failure, a lesson. Resolved. Best to try a different approach. Adequate. Effective as always. No sense in delaying.
Oh, that was just to get all this stuff. Flagellant's ray. The wearer's MP is reduced by 2, but they deal plus 15% more. Okay, well, I don't think that was worth it. I was wondering, I was like, what the hell are we doing? So I guess the point is you wait until they leave, you can go in there, steal a bunch of stuff. I wonder if he's better at it with the athletics. No. Or I wonder if it just takes... Yeah, I think it just takes, like...
I do not abide time wasting.
Whoever our best one, it would be... Interesting. The names of thousands of fallen agents of the Golden Throne are carved into the stone. Among them is a very recent inscription, Leander de Taral.
Never still for long.
Okay, so... Not here. Maybe I did just... miss it. Oh, there's stuff over there. Oh, that's the stuff in the chapel. What's this? Oh.
Keeping my eyes open.
That was interesting to see anyway. Yeah, I don't know how it is in the other one, but I would say that a little bit more in the like, alright, where, you know, do I need to go thing, because if we're looking at like the map, it doesn't say anything right here. We look at our journal. Bring the book of litanies to the Guncutter's Chapel and find the pilot on board the Guncutter. So the Guncutter is our ship, but they also call it the Verdict. Okay, so I guess if I would have reread this, I would have known to stay on the ship. Yeah, it's locked. Why does the ship have two names?
Always on the move.
Or maybe the Guncutter is I don't know. It seems weird to me. Because we found the pilot on board the Guncutter, I guess, but it's also called the Verdict. Just kind of odd. Oh, that's the lock station. Send a message to the Bastion. By the grace of the God Emperor, I hear you, vessel. Verdict. Listen to the Vox message. Through the hiss and rasp of Vox static, you think you hear a distant cry of pain, punctuated by booming. Whatever. Not let me read it.
At once.
And that's where the pilot is, so. Like, I would have thought this. I would have thought that would have been the chapel.
Keeping my eyes open.
Because this is his room. Oh, it is this. I thought this was just his room. I'm dumb. The heavy book lands on the pedestal with a soft thud. The pages fall open to the words, "May the darkness of the void fear the reach of his faithful." Look through the book. You flip through the tome and your eyes catch glimpses of the contents. The words void, death, and horror dominate the pages. Offer prayers to the God Emperor. The words of the litany fill your soul with confidence and calm amid the resonant silence of the ship. A barely audible groan of vibration spreads through the air. The very bulkheads echo your devotion. You begin to discern the melody the ship is singing. Commander, the shipboard cogitator reports the chapel has resumed operation. The pilot's voice in your comm bead shatters the illusion. I'll be waiting for you on the bridge. There's just one last formality left. Okay.
No sense in delaying.
Commander, By the will of the God Emperor, the ordained pilot and keeper of the Imperial vessel verdict, place my life and loyalty in your hands. The pilot bows to you and makes the sign of the Aquila. Congratulations, you are now, by all the proper rights, the captain of this ship. Can you hear the bulkheads groan? The gun cutter likes you. The verdict is beautiful. Haas swells with pride as if he had built the verdict himself. And she'll get even better, Commander, I promise. The ship isn't exactly large, but by the grace of the God Emperor, it's maneuverable and trans-atmospheric. We can both travel around the system and land on Scintilla. It seems your remark stung Yermis more than he lets on. Is that all? Yes, Commander. We can take off right now if such is your wish. Give me a couple of minutes to warm up the engines and recite the litany of ignition. After that, we can be off, be it onto the world's surface or into the depths of the void. Whoa, this is cool. So this is where we are. It's like Maris Portum Sectoris, Lucid Palace. I have no idea. Let's look at this. The acolyte must make a choice. Go to the spires for the sacred procession, or hurry to the lower levels of the Hive City before another seismo-aquatic catastrophe strikes the Hab zone. See, this sounds like it's on the ship that we're on. This is Lucid Palace. Okay, I'm going to pause it here for you guys, and I'm going to just make sure it's not still on this ship. Alright, so, never mind. Again, I need to read things a little bit more carefully. Maris Portum Sectoris, and Sibelius known as Spires. If we look at this, Maris Portum Sectoris and Lucid Palace. So this one, Lucid Palace. This one, Maris Portum Sectoris. So yeah. And we have to make a choice which one to go to. That's that. Assist members in the efforts to uncover the existence of an alleged cell of enemies of the Imperium complicit in historical beliefs and deeds. I guess. That's the Lucid Palace. Where should we go? Let's do Maris Portum Sectoris. Oh, the Lucid Palace is pretty cool. Let's do the palace. I literally made like a 5-minute section take like 20 minutes because I couldn't figure out where the hell to go. And it was all in the one place. That sucks. But it will. You live and you learn. By the way, 3 hours, no combat. Yeah, we're at the Lucid Palace. Sister Corrine, a sister of the Adepta Sororitas, blocks your way, brandishing her weapon menacingly. Halt. None may enter the palace. Whatever has brought you here, leave. Show the sigil. By the will of the God Emperor and the Golden Throne, I, Aquat Elijah, am on a mission for the Holy Ordos of the Emperor's Inquisition. Step aside. I'm sorry, but my orders are absolute. Not even a sigil will make me move. Place your hand on your weapon if you insist on and ask for it. You are making a grave mistake. High-ranking officials are awaiting my arrival at the palace. Who is in charge here? I have orders to meet with Inquisitor Rathbone. And I have orders from the Canoness. No one shall enter the Lucid Palace while I stand guard. Turn around and leave. This is your final warning. Who this? Lady Oleanthe Rathbone. As the silence falls, you hear only the whisper of expensive synth weave. A refined woman with eyes darker than night is watching the scene with precisely measured bewilderment. Greetings, sister. If you are truly determined to make this little quarrel with the agent of the Inquisition known to all the spires, then I am more than willing to assist you in this graceless task. But only if you understand that you are about to embarrass yourself on this holy day. There is no embarrassment in being watchful. I act as my duty demands. With a half smile, the dark-eyed woman urges the sister to follow her gaze reluctantly toward the stairs. Indeed, there is none, but intemperance, arrogance, and a lack of manners are embarrassing. However, if being watchful is the only virtue you possess, make it last until the very end. With all due respect, I am not one of those court vipers who bear insults and simply smile in return. There's a line that none should cross. She raises her chin, tightening her grip on her weapon. Canoness Marcella. The sound of heavy footsteps draws your attention, and at the top of the stairs you see the majestic figure of another warrior of the Adepta Sororitas, clad in pure white armor and accompanied by 2 Celestians. Corrine, what seems to be the problem here? The sister is denying entry to an agent of the Inquisition. We can watch in silence. Control your sister. She is unfit even for the role of guard. We'll watch in silence since she didn't ask us. I am following your orders, Canoness. Visitors are not allowed into the palace, and yet despite repeated warnings, this individual insists upon entering. Do you not see that this is an agent of the Holy Ordos, Corrine? Return to your post. We will discuss your conduct later, unworthy as it is of a member of the Order of the Sacred Rose. The Canoness's cold gaze returns to you. Please forgive my sister's temper, agent of the Golden Throne. Upon hearing the Canoness's words of apology, Sister Corrine lowers her head as crimson blushes spread across her pale cheeks. Get out of here, bitch. You're doing your job, whatever. I hope that Corrine's vigor will not bring discord to our common cause. We place great importance of palace safety. Mitigating threats and destroying the enemy are paramount. She turns her head slightly toward the dark-eyed lady and nods courteously, as though only now noticing her presence. Lady Oleant. Thank you, Canoness. Lady Oleant Rathbone politely gestures for you to approach. The woman offers you a slow and graceful nod. Every detail of her black attire is meticulously arranged and coordinated, and a bitter fragrance of perfume hangs in the air. Even the two slender daggers at her belt seem like an elegant and deliberate final touch to the ensemble. Inquisitor Oleanth Rathbone, I welcome you to the Lucid Palace. Case opened. Shadows in the Lucid Palace. A heretical cell is plotting the assassination of a high-ranking figure with the aim of destabilizing the capital world. The acolyte is to either confirm or refute the intelligence obtained. Okay. The first day of the festivities is upon us, but there is still time to address any inquiries you wish to make before you depart for the palace inspection. When you are ready to begin, seek out the slightest taint of heresy, heed the servants' whispers, and neutralize all threats immediately. Why have I been tasked with the palace inspection? Does the governor not have adequate security of his own? The governor's guards are preoccupied with the safety of the guests. Let them remain focused on that. More importantly, are you so certain that the heretics have not donned the guise of those sworn to protect the palace? Guardsmen, personnel, escort, servants. Assume everyone you meet is a traitor until you have found proof to the contrary. Do you have any thoughts on whom the heretics might be targeting? The God Emperor knows it would be easier to list those whose death would not cost Scintilla dearly. The feast of Saint Sibelius is a convenient opportunity to strike with so many vital servants of the Imperium gathered at the Lucid Palace. I lean toward the threat hanging over Lord Calixtus Hax. There have been more attempts on his life than there are steps in these halls, but he is by no means the only possible target. A clue acquired. Lord Calixtus Marius Hax. Lucid Palace. Okay. Residents of the Lord Calixtus where high-ranking guests are hosted before the Invocatum Sanctus, the ceremony that concludes the festivities in honor of Saint Sibelius. The head of Scintilla's clergy, Pontifex Cardius, is one candidate. Besides him, there is a Lord General Odom, who commands the planet's Astra Militarum. Her death would also benefit the enemies of humanity, as would the murder of the Fabricator General of the Last World's fleet. Additionally, a rogue trader by the name of Aspice Corda is to honor the festivities with her presence. As of yet, not all of the guests have arrived at the palace, but some you can meet already. Who are your sources regarding the planned assassination attempt? I pieced together information as one would the shards of stained glass, slowly and assiduously. Although those were mere rumors, they were beginning to form an unambiguous picture, and just before your arrival, one of my trusted observers procured crucial proof of this murderous plot. He hurried to the palace to report the details to me in person, for he feared that the Vox message could be intercepted. In the end, the shuttle carrying him broke down during landing and crashed into one of the spiral walls. A staggering misfortune, is it not? But the death of my agent was not in vain. It merely confirmed the severity of the threat. While you are investigating at the palace, make time to visit the docks where my agent met his end. Perhaps among the shuttle's wreckage, you might recover whatever it was that cost him his life. Is that all you wanted to know, Acolyte? Who has been tasked with securing the festivities? In honor of the festival, the posts are being manned by Fusilaries. Instead of the palace enforcers, and the important personages have all arrived with their own personal guards. Admittedly, this decentralizes security oversight. The Fusilaries answer to Lord General Odom, the bodyguards to their own masters. The sisters listen only to the canoness and are protecting the palace only because Governor Hax himself asked for this honor. Marcella is no stranger to politics, so she turned his small request to her advantage. Is the canoness pursuing some specific goal within the palace? Marcella believes one of the invited guests is guilty of heresy. She withholds the name, hinting that she will expose the traitor only after the procession, once she has gathered more evidence. The individual must be of great standing for the canoness to be so circumspect. I'm aware that tensions between the Order of the Sacred Rose and Lord General Odom have flared in recent cycles. Yet you must not allow the Spire's intrigues to distract you from our holy mission. I have some questions regarding the Adeptus Sororitas. Of course, they could not have failed to stir after that spectacle. That was a deft way to put that sister in her place. Do not think that I enjoy crossing verbal swords with the defenseless, but it is a sad truth that sisters like Corrine become utterly disarmed whenever they attempt to move among high society. Faced with the armor of composure and the shield of being well-informed, opponents like her will simply shatter themselves against the conversation. What can you tell me about the canoness? She wields significant power, not only of word and station, but also the firepower of the Order of the Sacred Rose. Securing the festivities is merely an adjunct to her holy mission of seeking out and destroying heresy, whatever guise of nobility it attempts to mask itself with. The canoness makes no secret of her authority or her intentions. Speak with her and you will soon understand this. Have the Sisters of Battle detected any threats yet? I think not. Had an empty enemy or a credible suspicion appeared in their line of sight, it would already have been announced by a volley of bolter fire. However, the Sisters hardly possess the Inquisition's skills. When it comes to uncovering hidden threats, that is entirely our task. Enough about the Sisters for now. I cannot disagree. I'm ready to start inspecting the palace. Where should I start? Speak with Captain Ismar in the main gallery. He is responsible for palace security provided by the Fusiliers. Also obtain a status report on the palace mechanisms from the Chief Tech Warden and inspect the transit checkpoint. The majority of guests arrive through it. Furthermore, it would be wise to monitor the food tasting. The servants must sample each dish for poison. The accounts of guards, servants, and early arrivals can be springs of information. Do not ignore them. Do not waste your efforts on the chapel. The canoness has surveyed it personally and is admitting no visitors until the start of the service. I expect you will finish your inspection just in time. After that, we will head to the festivities. Alright. So guys, let's check this. So, Chapter 1. Yeah. Upon completion of preparatory actions, the Acolyte is to report to Inquisitor Rathbone with a full account. Okay, so yeah, we're doing this one, which is just basically investigating. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. Who was plotting the assassination? Who knows? We've gone over 3 hours, and there's been no combat. It's just been, character creation. Ooh, awareness 65.
Every failure a lesson.
From here, one can enjoy a breathtaking view of the spires dissolving into a haze of soot-colored sky. Yeah, it's been a ton of dialogue. I wish more stuff was voiced, but I know that was a thing in the last one. Damn it. They just said change warband. Rogue Trader. In Rogue Trader, I know there's hardly any voiced stuff, but we're gonna save it here. And yeah, ended. I'm gonna try to play through the entire beta, and not to worry, I'm not gonna play this one first. I will be playing Rogue Trader first. The only reason I haven't touched it yet is I'm trying to wait for all of the DLC to come out, and they have a ton. We'll look at this another time. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.